pledge of allegiance to the Constitution, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which the flag stands, one nation, under Almighty God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Folks, we're going through a little bit of changes here. I'm not sure we should call it Vincent's Voices. I think I want to do that when I've got two people on. I'd like to have your opinion on that, by the way. I really, truly would. In the meantime, I'm not going to give you a quote that I'm going to say or scroll on the bottom, but I'm just going to put it right there on the screen for you. The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the tree that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. That's a Turkish proverb. The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. Do you see what that actually says? It's pretty scary, actually, when you think about it, because that's what's happening here in our election systems. They tell us they are one of us, that they are there to serve and protect us. And in reality, that's not even closer to a mistruth. Really, it's not. It's unbelievable. It's a mistruth. So I'm going to do a little something a little bit different. I haven't done news media per se. So here you go. I'm going to throw some stuff at you. Moms for Liberty responded to a social media message on Monday from the Department of Education celebrating school psychologists with a warning for parents. School psychologists are more important now than ever. The School Psych Week hashtag. We celebrate our exceptional school psychologists and their work to help students grow and thrive, the Education Department said on a social media on Monday. But the Parents' Right group cautioned parents in response to this post. Send an email to your district superintendent, school principal, and child's teacher today. Let them know you do not want your child meeting with a psychologist without your knowledge and consent. Moms for Liberty said on social media with the hashtag parental rights. The Education Department's post was sent out to celebrate National School Psychologists Week. The parent group followed up on social media with a sample note to send a clear message to the school. Dear whoever, please be advised that I do not give permission for my child to meet with a psychologist or a counselor or to receive any other mental health interventions without my knowledge and written consent. Thank you. And the parent signs that. I always try to offer answers to problems, and that's a problem. When your child is actually being, and I'm going to say it like this, being microscopically looked at by a psychologist, and you're not needing that because you don't feel the child needs that, you need to do it. I just heard from a parent last night. He just received custody of his 11-year-old daughter for the past week and a half or so since she's been under his roof. She identifies as gay, and she's also stuck up in her room with her iPad for 4 hours. Folks, if your child is stuck up in a room, and I don't care whether you just got them last week through a divorce custody or not, if you have your child and it's in a room and not socially interacting with the family, there's something wrong with that, which means it's the parent's responsibility in this case to say, guess what? You get an hour, maybe 2 hours of social media, but you definitely put an hour to 2 hours within the family, within meeting real people. There are answers, but the parents have got to be the ones to make those answers happen. And again, I would never let a school psychologist touch my child. I also found in another school, have not got verification on this yet, but the school psychologist there is a transsexual, is a whatever you want to call it, transgender. I don't care what you call it. That person who is a psychologist being a transgender individual, I've got to tell you, they've got what's called gender dysphoria, which is a mental problem in and of itself, and they need help. And they should not be helping themselves to your children. On. Why did Obama drop cursive in 2010 from educational institutions? That keeps coming up constantly. The reason and the answer is this: to make our children not able to read, comprehend, and understand the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights and Articles of. These are sacred fundamental foundations of our republic. Democracy was a second party formed to suppress the people. Examples: Democratic Party started the KKK, welfare dependency, Social Security, governmental and bureaucratic rule of basic living of the less fortunate, taking advantage of the weaker groups of our society, making them dependent again on our government to give to them. Because, and I'm just going to say it flat out, most are just very lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. Elections, by the way, are your number one power of strength by legal citizens collectively. In Connecticut, an elected official was caught on video stuffing street ballot boxes. She is currently being reviewed, and her position is on the line. I hope she gets removed from office and finds a new job in prison. To do ballot stuffing is wrong. We had 37 states yesterday voting. And in those 37 states, for the first time in history, let's check off this box: a Black female woman was elected mayor of Philadelphia. Ding, ding, check. Isn't that great? Beetlejuice, I guess, of Chicago is looking much better than the current mayor. Why? Well, I know this much about the fella. He supposedly was a teacher and he never, ever, ever failed one student. How do you not fail a student? You should fail that student so you can turn around and say to that student, you can do better. I will work with you. I'll get you tutors. I'll do whatever it takes. So we also had, of all states, I couldn't believe it. I love Governor Youngkin of Virginia. I really do. I think he's done a lot for the state in the short time that he's there. And they actually put this guy and voted him in as a state senator. Oh, I'm sorry. He identifies as a woman. I'm sorry, but he is a he. And thus, therefore, I got to call balls and strikes. He's got two balls with a baseball bat. That's all there is to it. We've got to stop playing games. Republicans are the party that most likely will wait until the 11th hour to vote, waiting in lines for sometimes hours. If you live in a state that allows mail-in voting or early voting, use that option as well if you wish. Remember, the last several elections have been corrupted by the Democrats stuffing ballots. But governors and secretaries of state, mainly the battleground states, were bypassing and overruling the will of its citizens with legislative laws put in place to secure proper voting in place for its citizens. In other words, when you look at all these last election, you look at Pennsylvania is the one I love to use the best because I'm from Pennsylvania, born and raised. Glad I am from Pennsylvania, never to return to live. Okay? Really, I mean, you vote for a dead man, 85%, and they knew that he was dead, but because it was a blue box, they just marked it off. And then, of course, they had to, do another separate voting for that incident. And then on top of that, John Fetterman actually was elected the senator of that state. And I'm going to say it straight out. Worthless creature, horrible individual, everything I know about him. From his let's push abortion, let criminals out, holding guns and shooting down, scaring a young black boy down the street, having only one job in his life, living underneath his mommy and daddy's roof till he was like 40 or 50, and his sister selling him a house for $1. This is a poor example of leadership. But now I think about it, why not maybe make him president? He'd be a better choice and a better person for the party of the Democrats than Joe is. But according to Ballotpedia, there are 13 battleground states in the United States. Now, this is a question that's been asked me as of late. What are the battleground states? These are states that are characterized by having small vote margins. In other words, basically a state that's half red and half blue, making it the beautiful color of purple. And that different political parties win over time. In other words, pendulum swings one way, pendulum goes the next way. And the following is a list of the 13 battleground states we have right now: Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Wisconsin. I've got to tell you, folks, they better crap or get off the toilet, because we can't have these split states. We are now seeing, as I said earlier, right in Connecticut, of all the beautiful little, and not a densely populated state, beautiful little state, and they're stealing and stuffing the mailboxes, the ballot boxes. I want to talk about egregious Democrat Judge Arthur F. Ergonran. I think I pronounced that name properly, of New York City. Believe it or not, this judge actually stated this: I am not here to hear Trump defend himself. No, sir. That is your job. He's there on a case. You brought him in. He needs to defend himself. Now, how many know the meaning of egregious? But let me define it as I know it to be. It's a conduct by a person, this judge in the case, intentionally committing an act or omission that involves knowing the violation of law. He should remove himself from the bench overseeing the case based on that statement alone. In other words, he doesn't want to give a person a fair shake. He doesn't want to give you or I our First Amendment, freedom of speech. Why? Because he's ordered a gag order on the attorneys representing my president, number 45, Donald J. Trump, as they have the right to the First Amendment, practicing the freedom of speech, because they expressed their opinion of the court clerk's failure to do their job. That's pretty sad when you identify the problem, call the problem out, and then you're told, shut up. It's not a good place to be, folks. It's definitely not a good place to be. I've told you I'm thinking about running for governor. Yes, I intend to. I'm going to put my name on the ballot. I want my son to know he can pass on to his children that at least in my dying years, as I feel that I've failed miserably at this point in my life, and I mean, I have failed miserably. I want the kids to know that I started fighting for what I know to be true, what I know to be right. So, as the elected governor of Missouri, this is a brief outline of what I would like to initiate, accomplish in the changes that are essential. Adapt to other state laws. For example, Florida, where the governor can fire. You like that word? I love that word. You're fired. I think I heard that on a show. That's right, called The Apprentice. But he could fire prosecutors and elected officials not taking their oath of office as promised to do so when elected. For example, here in the state of Missouri, in District 9, we have State Representative Dean Van Schoik and State Senator Rusty Black, again, both of Missouri. You're fired for not stepping up to rid MoDESE, that would be the Department of Educational Secondary Education, in allowing public schools to distribute, provide, and in some cases, known to librarians and the superintendent and staff around them on TikTok accounts, bribing and offering pornography to minors through the tax-paying dollars. This is not serving the community effectively. What they can do, though, although they say it's not their job to get involved, they can make amendments to these laws, to Missouri statutes like 573.040 or 573.50050. They can make changes if they want to, and that is their job. That is serving and protecting the community. And right now, the Cameron community is under big fire. But let me continue on. Bullet points on my position of importance when elected to the office of governor is simple. Number one, excellence in the education program. Create job growth. We need it. Have tax relief for businesses and given to households. Mental health sanitariums and programs are a must. Yep, I said sanitariums. Put them in, put all the cuckoos in so that they can all fly over the nest together. Remember the movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Jack Nicholson, great movie. Abortion issues need to be voted upon by the state's citizens in a simple vote of yes or no. It's that simple. And we have to have time frames for which to. I believe Florida was struggling with, I believe if I was told correctly, they were actually saying 6 weeks. Why can't we just go back to the simple trimester? Second trimester, there may be complications. Possibly the child is mentally ill, physically defective, and the parents can either say yes or no, or third, bring it into full trimester, the fourth, and have the child, and maybe give it up for adoption. But I think 3 months is enough for a young woman to have been evaluated and known as pregnant. But again, that is her decision, and it shouldn't be used as a form of birth control. We need our safer communities, supporting body cams on all the law enforcement. We definitely need to have more police. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of them personally. I live in Daviess County. I don't like the sheriff's department one iota, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. It's a misled and definitely biased place. So, if allowed to have these police officers, again, we need video body cams, flat out. Videos don't lie, as you'll see soon in this program. If allowed to support by President Donald Trump, let's do it like this. Stop all government and bureaucratic green energy programs immediately. There is blood on the hands of all these people that are literally dying from extracting cobalt, for instance, out of South Africa. Young children, elderly people, everyone is dying from cancer. Why? It's nasty. On top of that, when we have these pieces of junk that only go 300 miles and they do ultimately break down, a new battery costs like $25,000. On top of that, if they even get a new battery, they're going to the junkyards, which is creating an environmental health issue because of the decay of the battery getting into the soil and really getting into our water tables in the long run. So we need to stop the green energy. We need to build the wall. We need to close that door. We need to have the key to open it up and let people in. Right now, we've got well over 10 million people who have crossed our borders and closer to 3 million gotaways. And we don't know who these gotaways are. In fact, we really don't know who the 10 million people are. So what do we have here? Cool Hand Luke, great movie. What we got here is a failure to communicate. And yes, that's what we have here. A failure to communicate. We've got people speaking different languages that can't even speak English at all. And they're entering all these large sanctuary cities. And they're getting all kinds of freebies. While the citizens who need it, who have paid taxes in most cases and are down on their luck, or even the citizens who maybe mentally or physically don't really have the ability for which to work, they are now second-rated citizens, while we have these people literally who can't, again, speak English. They're getting free health care, they're getting shelter, they're getting money. It's our country bureaucracy that's destroying the infrastructure of our legal citizenship. But it's got to put a halt to it. We need to reinforce ICE so we can remove all these illegal invading aliens. Yep, I said that. Illegal invading aliens from this country immediately. Qualification of red flags at the top of the list, is, again, what we have here is a failure to communicate. They weren't educated in our system. They can't talk to Mrs. Jones on one side or Mr. Robinson on the other. And the next thing you know, they've got trash all over their yards. And I'm saying this because I've seen it in their own countries. You look down in Venezuela, Ecuador, so on and so forth. You look at the shorelines of half these darn South American countries. It's pathetic. Not miles, not only a couple beaches that are dirty, but we're talking miles of trash floating on the ocean. If that is the way they're treating their country and they're coming up here for political asylum, I'll tell you what, they're going to dump in this country too. And I don't know if you remember that Italian. Oh, I'm sorry. He was actually dressed up to look like an Indian. He was an Italian in a commercial. He used to have that one tear that went down his face. America, don't litter. Stop your littering. Well, guess what? America, we are bringing people in that are going to trash this country. And we have some in political office, i.e. example, Talib Rashad. I can't remember her name now. Talib. I know that. But anyway, she supports the Palestinians. She is okay. It's okay to support the Palestinians. It's the Hamas. And they are supporting the Hamas destroying and killing innocent people in Israel. We don't need people of leadership letting this kind of message out. It's wrong. It's divisive. It's hate-filled. And yes, we have a freedom of speech, but there is a line to be drawn. And when you get to a point where you are hating, where you are harassing, I love that word. I'll tell you what, when you are hating, that's awful. That's all I can say. It's awful. So these are people that we have in leadership position, and we need to open the damn pipeline immediately. This would make our cash flow of our country financially strong. We can sell our oil. It's better oil. We can sell our natural gas. It's primo. And when Biden shut all that down, here we are now. We're bringing in oil from Venezuela, from the Middle East, the Saudi countries, and it's garbage. It literally is garbage. It's harder to refine. It's not healthy for the environment. And we need to, quote unquote, open it up and get our American people working again. Folks, stop all this woke ideology and forced vaccination on our military, for instance. Let's take care of our veterans and the Gold Star families who risked their lives and too many who have died for our freedoms. I'll close with this phrase, with this. Please say prayers for the men and women who are and have served on Veterans Day this weekend, in Remembrance Day, of course, in Canada. And on a side note from that, we've got to bless those men and women. We have to look at the families and help them. This was brought into me earlier this morning. That's why I call it a side note. TikTok and Snapchat. TikTok and Snapchat chat. Parents, get a grip. Get a grip of your kids' phones, whatever. You make sure they are not on either one of them. With Snapchat in particular, you can actually take pictures of your body parts, ask children to give you pictures of their body parts. You get to save it, store it, whatever you do with it, you sick freaks. And then it disappears. It allows your children right now, social media is allowing your children to be attacked by predators because you don't know who's on the other end. I don't support either one of those, and I damn sure don't support the pedophiles doing this to our children. So, folks, you need to encourage your children and discuss gender and sexuality in your home. You need to discuss bullying in your home. And then you need to present it to the school if, in fact, your child is being bullied or if they're being bullied for one of those particular situations. But again, you do not let your child see a counselor. You never know what dress he is wearing. Mental basket case he is. It is. That's why I like to call him it's. This isn't proper. giving medications to them, it's not proper. 8, 10-year-old lopping this off and adding that, it isn't right. It is the parents' position in life to be number one, in their children's life against this. That's my thought for the day. So, if any of you have any thoughts or comments, I'm going to actually, I don't see any, I'm not seeing too many. See a couple viewers, so thank you for being here. I'm going to start with, let's see what I'm going to start with. What's on the very top of this? Okay, here we go. I'm going to go with the Home Oppressors Association of Lake Viking, Missouri. Yep. I've got a protocol to address the Alibaba and the Lake Viking Association Band of Thieves. The topic is taxation without representation. Again, no guts, no glory. And I do not rise to the occasion of. I rise to the occasion for. That's an original. And I've got to tell you, I don't have many, but I do believe in that. I come when I need to be there. And I hope you folks can find it within yourself to do the same. For the 5 years I've lived here, I've kept to myself, never bothering a person with ill intent, ever. I never had a staff member on my property for a single reason or purpose. I didn't care or want to ever play with the pretentious, self-centered, narcissistic creatures here regarding their yearly gatherings. Not all these people are like that, but most of them are. And I can show you that in a little bit. 2 weeks shy of 4 years as a resident, an infraction was given to me wrongfully. A lie. The accuser with no spine that couldn't face me in the Kangaroo Court. You like that? We used to call it the Kangaroo Court, but I call it the Kangaroo Court. They're a jester of jerks. That's all they are. And with their dictator, Jeff Funguson, his name's Ferguson. I like Funguson. He's a fungus among us. Laughing in my face. I mean, literally, I asked him what the fine would be, and he laughed in my face and said it could be up to $500 for a driving infraction. I've got to tell you, folks, I wanted to just wind up and play ball, but you can't. It's not right. So, a lesson in the life jackal asses, action, reaction. They pissed me off when they stole $800 from me because of 2 infractions, one for $250, one for $750. Wait a minute, Vince, that only comes up to $750. Yeah, but they tacked on an extra $60, $30 for each infraction because I missed the first board infraction and asked to speak to them the second one, and they still stole $60 extra. Then I went to small claims court, and this is where it gets constitutional, where you need to know your rights of what's going on. Believe it or not, folks, if you're in an HOA, never take them to a small claims court, because this small claims court should have looked at me and said, sir, you do not go through small claims court to file a complaint against an HOA. You go to an associate court. I may be repetitious from a show or two back, but I'm just really wanting to highlight these things. So, basically, I'm not going to lose in the long run, these battles that I'm engaging in. For we the people, and I play for keeps, no prisoners. That is a fact. I'm going to go after them with dog determination. What is the communist policy rule, protocol, law for which to verbally address His Excellency, Dictator Jeff Funguson, and his court of tyrannical jester board committee, bobble-headed silent demigod dolts, who all of which are prevaricators and thieves? That's right, folks. I just called them out. They are liars and they are thieves. And don't hand me this fornicating cow chip of respect. I'm supposed to talk to them with respect. It is not given by title. It is not given by the fact that you sit on a board. It is given by actions, and your actions do not deserve any respect. The no common sense leadership and evidence is enough. I have 21 bits of evidence falling on all of your failures collectively as a group of mental midgets. I am a resident here. I am entitled to be accepted on the Lake Viking Association Facebook page in case, for instance, of emergencies. A notification such as power outages, water shutoffs, road closures, just to name a few. So the Queen, Tommy Gronecker, won't allow me to be on a Facebook page, and I asked him 3 months ago to do so. He won't let me on the page. I don't know, but there might be a legal situation here on that one as well. Yes, I use colorful language to get the attention of communists. I hate communists. I hate the abusers of power and prevaricators. And more importantly, I hate thieves. I am not from the show me state. I see and know what others are informing me about, willing to share with me the truthful facts because I have a spine. I take no crap and I have an unfiltered mouth, as all of you pretty much know that follow me. And I will call balls and strikes to the individuals, or should I say the douchebags, that they are. The First Amendment Karens and I do not care about your sensitive feelings at all. First Amendment Karens, I don't care. Overturning the vote of the people on October 1st at the Lake Viking HOA meeting. Come on, you Karen comrades. In question on that day was a 75 count for no and to increase lot dues. A group of 73 counted yes. Who are these idiots that want to pay $300 more a year for their lots? I want the extra excess money, if that's the case, that these guys have and women have to throw around. Please donate it to me. I can use it. But on October 2nd, the tyrants got together and disregarded the vote of the people on October 1st. Who the does that? Who do they think they are? With 1,000 empty lots, 1,800 residents. Think about this now. 1,000 empty lots owned by people, 1,800 residents. That's basically 2,800 people. 70 to 100 people live around here on this HOA year round, with dues averaging at this time, $1,000. How come a letter for voting isn't sent out to those who can't make the sit-in voting as on October the 1st? Why can't they send a letter out with a election ballot in it, with a return address? How much would that cost? Probably well under $1.30 with time to do it. $1,000 for each lot, and you can't find the time to put something like that together. And people say, well, we need to have voter ID. How do we do that? Solution, answer, ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Here you go. It's real simple, folks. You have a lot number with 4 numbers. There's only 2,800 residents, 28 pieces of property. 4 numbers, dash, your last 4 of either your phone number or the property owner's social security number, or you can just have all 12 of those numbers. And then when they get mailed in, oh no, board, you do not vote at all. Those go to a special box. It's picked up by a special group of people, and those people count the votes, and then another group will count the votes and tabulate, and then still another. You do it 3 times. You should have 3 solid numbers each time. Yes or no. Hey, maybe only 2,000 people vote. 800 people could care less about voting. But guess what? You've got a much more exact figure on who wants to pay more or who wants to keep it at the same monetary value that we're paying now. I've got to tell you, this is very, very, very bad. I do realize that the football arena would probably have to be used to hold that many people or families. But comrade, Karens, seriously, really, have you no brains like the scarecrow of the Wizard of Oz? Are you an empty box of rocks? And how much do you think we are going to take of your bull? Loney. I'll tell you what, we're not going to take more. I've seen more houses go up on the market here than it can shake a stick. And it's going to get worse. People are not happy under this tyranny whatsoever. I know I'm not. And I will let whoever buys my home as soon as possible, I'll make sure that my realtor makes that person realize Look at that deed. You have to read that deed. You have to read the portion of you've given up your rights to these people. So, I am a purveyor of truthful information, the epicenter. I am exposing tyrants like the Cameron School Board administration and certain criminal staff members, and now you idiots have poked the wrong person. By the way, face to face, I'm an educated man with no need to verbally use colorful language. I have a vocabulary that, press buttons, push knobs, pulls levers, and words that make stupid, ignorant people jump. I make them feel froggy. And I love to dance. Folks, I love to dance. I always love to dance. So, why am I actually saying about all this? I got to give you a couple facts now to just let you know. There is, in my wheelhouse, common sense. That's what I'm all about. But we also have here no common sense. Lake Viking, Missouri, HOA equals a group of Karens. And taxation without representation, that's from the Home Oppressors Association. And on the back, the motto, harass, oppress, assault, a communist community pitting neighbor against neighbor. I assure you, I have these t-shirts made. I've got t-shirts made. It's going to be trademarked probably through the charming cloud of our community here on the show, but they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this is what HOAs should start wearing when you're not happy with them. This is what the community should be wearing when you're not happy with them. You put your motto on, you walk into, for instance, I did this past weekend, to a chili supper. Yes, I'm even wearing one now, but you can't see it on screen, which is why I did that. But it's been brought to my attention, folks, and I print this out with no shame, with no reason, so you can, and I sent all this in an email to them, so you can read it over and over and over again until you wake up with cold sweats from the sleepless nights and your soiled panties. I like that. I like my words. Like your favorite president, Joe Biden, you'll soil them. And in disbelief that the man you stole from and lied to and about has these huge coons in your face. Why am I really moving on? Why am I really going after these people? I'll tell you what, folks, last week, Monday, fact, my computer shut down. 55 minutes before the show, I actually had 55 minutes just to get my Outlook account on so I could have the first show ever of Your Constitutional Rights and Consequences with G.R. Mobley from the Red State Radio in Spokane, Washington. You can look him up on YouTube, on the net, and believe me, the man is he sits in a room and he's just like Mark Levin. Believe me, we need more men and women that know about the Constitution. But what really irked me was I lost my computer. We still managed to put on the program. Facebook the following day shut down and suppressed every one of my accounts. The Nazi moderators, that's what I call them, the Nazi moderators shut down the Vincent Cooper account, shut down the Citizens Kane account, and I did not have access to the Common Denominator account. Wow, how could that be? The show must go on anyway. So Wednesday, I did another program, had a wonderful guest on. That would have been for, again, introducing the Constitution to all of you by Margaret Ida Hubbard. Wonderful lady. The first 26 minutes, we were doing good. I mean, this lady has an impressive background, and it needed to be told. 76 years old. The lady's a fighter. Right now, she's one of the soldiers for the Constitution. All of a sudden, StreamYard dropped. Facebook dropped us. Just like that. 7 minutes with the executive producer, I call him, the Godfather, love Godfather. God, I love the Godfather. Don Corleone managed to get us back up for part 2. And we continued on for another hour where we discussed the actual Constitution and parts of it and where to go for resources of understanding and learning about. For instance, in this case, it was the patriotacademy.com and I believe it's Reclaiming America. I wish I had kept that up. So moving on, I have answers and solutions because of a brain, common sense, and love for my government, my United States Constitution. And now I am realizing that I live in a private area. I live in a private corporated company where they have bylaws, covenances, and governances of communism, which you all impose on good citizens and residents here in Lake Viking. I'm going to take a pause for a moment. I'm going to give you an idea. This is the lie. This is a lie. Notice, that's a nice warning. Common sense, 15-mile-an-hour winds. Don't burn. That's common sense. But notice the second sign. Security notice. This property is protected by video surveillance. Guess what? Cat's out of the bag. The only property that's protected here by video surveillance might be the maintenance department because they do have valuable equipment there, and is the office. Outside that, the other 24 miles around, forget it. The only video surveillance is in the private homes. I know. I actually had to put a $5,000 system in my home from life threats to me. I'm okay with that. I have a target on me. Good luck. I also have a sign out front, if I remember correctly. Trespassers will be shot. If you're still breathing, you'll be shot twice. Fair warning, folks. I own nothing. And you do. You guys do. You own nothing that is so valuable to take their life. But idiots will try it. They will try it. Here goes the situation, by the way, that I made a complaint on. If you look to the road here, it's it's a road. You see this little sign here, the post, maintenance road? Well, I'm going to show you another picture. Let's see if I can get this one. This is approaching that road. And if you notice, that's the left side of the road. But do you notice a tease? Common sense, folks. It tease. Why isn't there a stop sign at this post? So this is what happened. I decided, personally, myself, I decided to drive along the road, and this idiot security, safety patrol, whatever you want to call it, young kid with his phone on his left side did not see me coming on his left. I'm in my four-wheel truck, and I almost hit him. I beat my horn, put on my turn signal, blew past him. I was so enraged that I could have almost injured or killed someone that I filed a complaint. Did I hear anything about that complaint? That was back, by the way, in August, I think it was, early September. Did I hear anything back? Nope. So here also, by the way, they've got a security gate with a stop sign. Why do they have a stop sign on this security gate and not on that post? Seriously, you can see how big the stop sign is. And you can't get through that gate without wrecking your car, and yet they will not put one on, again, that post in the T of the road. They're not going to do it. So I went to the board meeting, the LVA collection meeting of the vote, and I didn't know what was going on. I could have cared less. I don't like these people. And I am going to tell you, I have heard, believe it or not, rumor mill, that I approached, believe it or not, security. And I approached both the director of security and I approached his second in command, John Oates. That would be director of security, Jason McFeeny, nice guy. I shake his hand. I like him. No problem. I don't have a problem with him. I have a problem with leadership, ultimate leadership. So, folks, they have been saying that I approached him. I'd like you to realize something. There's power, a lot of power. I want you to watch this and you tell me exactly what goes on.
How you doing? How are you?
Oh, I'm quite well. How are you? Whatever happened? Did that guy get an infraction like I did by chance?
That which one?
The
one that we talked about?
Yes.
I mean, how does that happen? I mean,
Well,
how do
how
we?
do you get an infraction?
What's that?
If they sign a complaint or if we see it.
Okay, I had signed a complaint against security. You remember that for one of your people pulling
Well, they're-
right out.
Well, they're not a member, so members can't get,
Oh,
non-members can't get tickets.
Oh,
But I dealt with them.
I hope you did, sir.
Yeah.
Because that is a bad intersection. Why there isn't a stop sign still?
Oh, at the maintenance yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just came over and say, hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm just making myself known because sad you.
You know, this is the way it goes, folks. And I mean this. This is the way it goes. I'm having a little problem there, technical problems. This is the way it goes. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Notice he had said they don't give any infractions. The employees and the staff members will not ever get a ticket. They only give the residents tickets. That's, again, rules for thee, but not for us. And again, when I say, I don't know how I would have felt. I really don't know what would have gone through me if I had taken that young boy's life, that young man's life. Now, does it look like I approached security within, by the way, less than 4 minutes of being in that seat, in that gymnasium? It is time stamped. I've got copies of it. So let's look at the second one now. I'm hoping I can bring this in. I don't know yet. Nope, I'm going to have to wait for a moment. Yep, let me wait on that for a moment. Let me do it like this. No, Vince, come on, go back. Here we go. Come on. I'm having to slow down here. Yeah. I have to present this. Give me one moment. Oh, share screen. Come on. Share screen. And oh no, don't tell me yes, I did. Actually, I did that, but that's okay. I'm going to do this again. I know I can pull it back up. Give me just a moment. I mucked it up. I'm sorry. But, this is what's going on is that I approached them and I didn't do that. So I had to have these little snippets put in. I'm trying to find this right now. Oh, it came this time. Here we go. I had to have these two snippets. I have to show you this because, again, the rumor mill has it that I have been literally the one approaching these gentlemen, and that's not the truth. And I'll get to the Facebook in a moment. I'm going to be able to get to the Facebook. Oh, come on, Vincent. You got to be kidding me. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I've got so many emails that I'm looking at, and it's really, really bad. It really is. Oh, yes, I really wanted to get this right. I mucked it up. I did. I accidentally mucked it up. I will be showing you this. Here we go. Let's try this. I know this is taking a little time, but I want to do this and get this out there. It needs to be seen. People need to know what's going on in these homeowners associations. And this, you can't make it up. You really can't. Let's go this way. So I just sent that out. Believe it or not, I sent it out. Here we go. The clips. These are the two clips. This is a second one I'm now going to get to you. I'm going to open it up. It's loading up right now as we speak. We have to see this, folks. I'm going to drop it off here and pause it. We have to watch this. Why? And I'm going to tell you in a moment. You're never going to believe it. Let's share it here and share it. And now play it.
Over 100 feet out has not been dredged.
John?
I just said John.
What can I do for you? What's that? Hang on a second, please. Let me call you back.
I haven't seen you for a while.
Well,
Doing good?
I come out. Good time to see me would be October 16th.
What's that?
Yeah, it's down at the Galaxy Courthouse.
Oh, I heard, yeah, that would be a good time. I'll see you then, maybe. I don't know
Well,
if
I
you-
mean, I can't face my accusers here.
Huh?
I can't face accusers at the infraction boards.
No.
I can't
I
speak
think you can.
intelligently to these people. I've been here for 4 years, 2 weeks shy of 4 years. I get an infraction, they can't give me a warning and let it pass. I carry a sidearm. That's my right. And under the law, believe it or not, what they did was wrong. So I'll get that money back. I'm pretty sure of that.
I hope you win.
I hope I do. You really, John?
I really do. I'm all for Second Amendment, man. 100%. I love the Heller decision, the McDonald decision, all of them.
Well,
They're starting to overturn the California bullshit.
you know, I've never had a
criminals.
problem. Personally, I've never had a problem, sir, with you at all.
It doesn't get, really, folks, I've got to say this, it doesn't get much better than that. So these Lake Viking board people are spreading the rumor that I approached and intimidated and disrespected their safety director and their second in command. I don't know about you folks, but I think I saw something different. I think technically, if I was a weak little sensitive freak, I think I was the one that should be saying, I'm harassed. I'm in fear of. I'm not in fear of any of you. And again, I like John and I like Jason. Both are good men. Unfortunately, they serve a dictator, Jeff Funguson, the director of the Lake Viking Association. He's a poor misrepresentation of, again, poor leadership. No common sense. I could go on, but I'm not going to. So I have just now let you guys know what the rumor is. I approached them. I think you'll agree. They approached me. Now check this out. You're going to love it. So Thursday of last week, again, computer problems, glitches, the whole 9 yards. The executive producer, that would be Don Corleone, the Godfather, reaches out to Meta for 3 hours. 3 hours he calls Meta, talks to them. Apparently, they were swamped from the program back the 1 week before the end of October. They were not happy with Vinzent's show. They were not happy with the fact that I called them out, that I told them they're doing wrong things. So they actually had closed down all 3 of my accounts and I had no access until this morning on Facebook. So for 8 days, they had me suspended. The Nazi moderators of Facebook had me suspended. You know, when you go to jail, just like that, poof, you're gone. You're gone. But it takes them 8 days to go through a structure that they have to allow us to come back. And we're whitelisted now. Vincent Cooper's whitelisted. Citizen K, my animal page, is whitelisted. And so is CDN. That means we have no marks against us right now. No gray areas, no bad checks. Folks, this is what the Homeowners Association is going to do to you in your Homeowners Association. They will take power and they will take away your rights. You don't have any. It is a communist community pitting neighbors against neighbors. And they only have one agenda, and that is to harass, oppress, and assault you and your wallet or your purse. Think twice before you ever buy a home in an HOA, and you better know whether or not it's good. So I have decided, and I'm going to say this, I have really decided that it's time to have a real good heart-to-heart with these people sometime. So this weekend, I'll be going to the Home Oppressors Association meeting. I'll be sitting in front with my sunglasses as always on while wearing my little spectacles because I don't like the lights. It affects my eyes. And I don't care to let these people see my eyes. They might, again, Tony Groin matter, you might fall in love with me, and I don't want you to fall in love with me. I went through a situation, and that's why, of course, you see up there on the underneath the title of my name, purveyor of truthful information. Went through a situation where it's the epicenter. Okay, I am the epicenter. I have witch hunts all around me, but that's what happens when you're telling the truth. They can't handle the truth, and they don't want to like the truth. Well, I want to double down on the Cameron School Board. I want to take apart one person in particular. Dan Kirscher, I wish I had a picture of you. That's the one thing I was missing for this program. Dan Kirscher is a retired minister. Also a retired minister from the Ministers Alliance Group, which is a bunch of spineless, feckless pastors, including Tim Harrell, Crossroads Church. He doesn't care about the children of God at all. He's okay with pornography being put in schools, just like the whole group of 12 to 19 of these pastors that get together and stroke each other. Ego. Maybe something more. I don't know. Any more these days? In fact, I did hear one of those people that were elected into office that's a transsexual, transgender, whatever it is a minister. Wow, it blows my mind. So anyway, getting back to Dan Kirscher. Dan Kirscher and I had a 3-minute conversation going into the Cameron School Board meeting on October the 17th in the Lord's year of 2022. 3-minute. I gave a good detailed situation about what actually occurred, what words were exchanged on many of my podcasts a couple while back. But this is what I want to show you. This is how they abuse they just abuse the system. This man here took out a restraining order on me. Here we go. Let's have a look at it. Well, jointly owned, leased, or rented or occupied by me. He clicks this by me or someone other than a respondent. This is the first of 4 pages, and I'm just showing you half. The respondent is someone I have met only one time. By the way, folks, that was fact. That was true. That was a 3-minute stroll into. But during that 3-minute stroll, if you look down here at these checked boxes, I guess I harassed him. And if you look at the other one, threatened to do any of the above. First off, don't compliment yourself so well, you fat toady little frog. I would never ever think about sexually assaulting you. Ever. Impossible. Would never be something I could do. I would never unlawfully imprison you, nor did I ever say I would unlawfully imprison you. 3-minute conversation, folks. Seriously. Follow me from place to place. Never followed him from place to place. I followed him from the parking lot, and he was kind enough to show me the main entrance into the school board meeting. And then abuse my pets. Folks, this is what he checked off. This is what a retired minister checked off of my character. Let's go to page number 2. You're going to love this. There's nothing there. It's just typical paperwork. I can let that one go. Don't want to bore you. But notice how the overinflated ego starts. Now, this guy was an English teacher. He, believe it or not, taught English and handwriting. I am president of the Cameron R1 Board of Education. Big pat on the back. That's what they're used to doing. On Saturday, October 15th at 9:29 a.m., Mr. Cooper sent a text out to our school board. Super, I guess, secretary. I don't know. Can you read some of this stuff? Attaches a copy. And the response was sent to him on Monday. See a copy's attached. By the way, he continues on with committing or threatening to commit domestic violence, sexual assault, molesting, many underlines disturbing the peace of this petitioner, of this toady little man. And he goes on to say, stalking petitioner. I'm sorry, what history is there of stalking? What history is there of stalking? He already said in his opening complaint, I only met the respondent one time. Entering the premises of the Cameron petitioner school. And then he comes, well, he doesn't want me within 15 feet of him. and communicating with him in any manner through any medium. Well, there you go. Here goes page number 1. On the same date, October 17th, respondent Cooper replied with a threatening email. Copy attached. I never threatened anyone. And I do have a copy of that email. I wish I could have showed it to you. I probably will soon. I'll probably do that in December. I've got a big little situation coming up in December. A nice show to perform and give. He also attached a 3-page addendum attached. Look at this man's handwriting. He taught your kids. Cameron, he taught your kids. This is his handwriting. Mr. Cooper came out our school board meeting on Monday evening, October 17th. As I was parking my vehicle, he stood in front of my car until I exited the car. He said, "You must be someone important." Very true. He parked illegally between a building and a fence and said, "No parking." And he's carrying this big old computer bag. I remember it like it's yesterday. I responded, I was not. Oh, he's showing his modesty here. I knew who he was because I looked at his Facebook page. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't go look at his Facebook page. Was he harassing me? Was he indirectly stalking me? It's something to think about. I also saw on CaseNet that he has previous stalking, drug, DUI charges. Yes, we have covered the stalking situation. Criminals took stalking out on me, got a restraining order. One of them was dead in the water, removed. I should have had the second one removed. It didn't happen. But drug, yes. I had 4 pounds of marijuana. I talk about this. I'm a very open person. 4 pounds of marijuana. I was going to give it to my friends up in Minnesota. I was on a break from working with George Strait. I got busted. They profiled me. And the judge was not only the judge that was the arraigning judge, he kept my case in his courtroom, and he gave me 3 years probation. Again, I'm just giving you the highlights. And I actually got a year and a half, and he called me the next day to say, "Mr. Cooper, thank you for walking the paper. Maybe next week we should meet." And we did. I went into his chambers the following week, and he drank bourbon straight up, smoking a cigar. I smoked cigarettes while drinking scotch on the rocks. Can't forget this stuff. You can even a dumb man like me can never forget. DUI charges. No, what that is called is no consent charges. I did not. I performed all their little circus acts. I had it on video. They had it on video. Did they present that in the courtroom? Of course not. But I said no to your BAC. I'm not going to let you go the limit. I'm not going to do it. Mr. Cooper walked in the building with me and asked me if I was on the school board. So I said, as I responded, I was. He knew I was the board president. Again, I did not know this fat, toady, little, wretched creature was, in fact, on the school board. And the conversation was like this walking in. I would like to, I said, "Can you show me how to get in the front door?" "Yeah, follow me." He was kind like that. I said, "Do you know the retired minister? I think he's a president or something here on the school board." "Yeah, I know who it is." I said, "Oh." I go, "I'd like to have a word with him." He goes, "Well, you are." I said, "Excuse me?" Now, mind you, he's talking in third person as if he's absent. I said, "Oh, so you're Dan Kirscher?" He said, "Yes." There you go, folks. Never saw it. By the way, if you review the videos way back when, you're hearing the same story over. I said, "You and I are not going to get along. You're not going to like me, and I already know I don't like you. I love Trump, and you're a dumbass Democrat." Simple as this, sir. You are letting the children run the school by letting a girl become king of the homecoming dance, which is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. You are failing the children. You are failing the parents. Personally, I can't wait. I'm going to see to it that you are removed from the school board. You are doing the wrong thing, sir, and you are going to have a day of reckoning. I did say that. Is that a threat? No. I'm talking to a minister. Unbeknownst to him, I am a minister. I'll show you and prove to you in a moment. And so we entered the building. And I told him the kids are have failing grades. This is wrong. You should stop this insanity. Not even knowing, by the way, about the pornography in the books. So he says that I knew that he was the president of the school board. I did not. Mr. Cooper attends the Crossroad Assembly Church of God in Cameron. Pastor Tim Harold of the church sent me several texts warning me about Mr. Cooper. And by the way, one of those texts, Mr. Cooper is known to carry a 9mm weapon on his right side. Guess what, folks? I carry my 45 on my left side in a locked holster. Never would touch a 9mm in my life. I like to really leave a good impression when I shoot, or if it does go through something. Simple as that. I informed our police officer of that info about 5 minutes in our open session meeting. Mr. Cooper left his seat in the auditorium and he returned. I can't read the rest of it. A few minutes, I guess, later. After Mr. Cooper returned, I saw a Cameron police officer in uniform standing with our school resource officer. That would be the man, Johnny Palmer, who is beholden through slavery of employment to the masters of Superintendent Matt Robinson and, of course, the rest of the school board. I knew the officer to be Sean Connolly. She's with the Cameron PD. I am chaplain for the Cameron PD. Again, can you blow yourself up anymore bloatingly? No, you can't, you little toad. So I know most of the officers. Following our meeting, Officer Conley met me at the bottom of the steps of the stage. I had just exited. She said she would escort me out of the room. I told her I was okay, but she insisted, so we walked to my car with me. Outside, Officer Conley stated Mr. Cooper had called 911 about a black car and strange person who looked like Jeffrey Epstein. Well, I have to tell you, Jeffrey Epstein's actually much better looking. You just have a lot of his character. Come on, last slide. Come on. I guess that is. Nope, there should have been more. The bottom line is this, and that is the most important one now I think about it. The end of it basically stated, and I'm actually going to now read it. If you give me a moment, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to read it to you. If I can have a moment, I need to do this, of course. I want to read to you the actual verbiage of. Where did it go? This is not good. I'm not happy. I should have checked this before we went on to doing it. Sorry. Yep. You guys are getting to see me in my glory, I guess. Nope, not there. Where is that folder? I am just beside myself. I cannot find what I need to look at. And I know I'm wasting a little bit of your time, but it's well worth it. If I can just get my head out of my, well, you know what I want to say. This is not good. This is not good. Oh, boy. Nope. I must have that out in my vehicle. I do not want that there, though. Please. Please. This is all for validation, folks. It has to be done. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to cower to them either. Oh, dear St. Anthony, please come around. Something is lost that cannot be found. If I had my producer here, we might be able to save it somehow. I wish I could do that. Let me try something else here. Let me see if I got something in my bag of tricks. I know you guys are getting bored. I don't blame you. I'm going to try this. Thank you, by the way, for hanging out. I see 6 of you are actually here still. Let me try this one more time. Sent items the best I could do. If nothing else, I could read it from here, of course. Sign law request. I sent that to a news article, criminal. Okay, one more moment. I think I can make this happen. I need the last page, and I can't find it. I actually cannot find it. Where
I
are
didn't. I
what's that?
didn't. I didn't get anything other than what's on there. I just checked the email.
What? Oh, you didn't get the last half of the page?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, guess what? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I may have it. At least I can read it because I want everyone to be fully informed of this person. And again, we're not we're not professionals here. You guys know that. But we try to do the best we can to help people out. And 1, 2, here we go. I'm getting to the last page. Here we go. I can read it at least. She replied and knew of my car, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. This is the last page. I have not seen Mr. Cooper since Monday, the 17th. However, 2 people have told me, hearsay, I know, he has been very agitated when he talks about me. Yeah, I am agitated about you, you clown. 100%. And I'm not going to pretend. Okay? I don't pretend about anything. You're an idiot. You should not be in the school system. In fact, you should be scolded. Put in a room with a dunce's hat. So, I am fearful. This is the very last line. I am fearful of being stalked by him and about him potentially coming to another school board meeting. Let me repeat that last sentence. I am fearful of being stalked by him and about him potentially coming to another school board meeting. Folks, that's called suppression of speech. That's called taking away an individual's freedom of speech. The only 2 truthful lines, because the rest of it is just, no history. Never did I ever go to his house, see him in a store, cross him in a street. Not what? 3. I have only met the respondent once, and I am fearful of him, of being stalked by him, and about him potentially coming to another school board meeting. This was a restraining order request. This is what powerful people do, people who abuse their power. As I said, I had 2 criminals, a boyfriend, girlfriend, both took out ex partes. One of them was gone within 3 months. He violated his own, and the judge was incredible. What I didn't do was ask the judge to look at the other one and have it too removed because it too was not necessary. These people did that because they were criminals. They were jealous of me for buying a home, making home improvements, making it beautiful. And I did. I've got pictures of it. And just in case, I have to throw this out. Yeah, believe it or not, folks, I tout that I'm a minister. I went online, answered 20 questions, every one of them right. I do know the Bible a little bit. And so, here you go. That should about say it all. I have the credentials of ministry. And yes, I actually officiated a wedding. And I'm going to really love the last 2 pictures, okay? This is Vinny's wedding, and look at them. This is the end, near the end. But what really comes out bright, and you see that I'm there with them. Most beautiful picture yet. But the question is this: where am I? What happened to me? And everyone always says, did you disappear, Vince? No, I didn't disappear. It wasn't photoshopped or anything. All I can say is it was a wonderful, beautiful wedding. Probably the only one I'll ever do. But minister to minister with Tim Harold as well. By the way, told him Vince can be crazy sometimes. Anyone knows I can be crazy. I'm just not insane. That's a fact. And I'll be the first one to say, yep, I'm crazy. That doesn't mean I need to be in a sanitarium. What that actually means is I am crazy enough to think that I should be running for governor, elected for governor, because I have common sense first and foremost. I have a balancing act being a Libra. I know right from wrong. If you surround yourself with good people, as I have in the past year and 1 month, I mean, literally year and 1 month, fantastic people. Heath Gilbert, my hat is off to you. Dan Landy, my hat is off to you. Pastors Lonnie and Colleen Hardy, my heart is extended to both of you. Paula Allen, wonderful social worker, wonderful mother, wonderful wife. Again, my heart goes out to you too. And there are so many. Joyce Tigner, Travis Eldridge of the Cameron Community Forum. So I'm in the crosshairs right now. I'm in the crosshairs of the school board and the HOA. And people say, why do you put yourself there? And all I can say is I'm led by my heart. I'm also part of a witch hunt. And you know what? For every action, folks, remember this. For every action, there's a reaction. And as soon as this little witch hunt of criminality of me is through the court, and I am confident this is not going to go anywhere. I am going to open up the doors of hell on this community and on certain people. We do not need our rights violated by these people. It's completely wrong. We are supposed to live in a civilization civilly, in a society of people who have good behavior, not to lie and make up stories and tales, not to overinflate any particular situations. You know, I got to speak to the judge. Believe it or not, the judge had signed off. That would be Teresa Christian Bingham, a nice little lady. I told her in front of 60 strangers at the Republican committee, you hear a couple of these people talk about, well, I've got a friend that had this going on. I got a friend that had that going on. Talking about K-State, by the way. And guess what? I don't know any other way of saying this, but simple as this. At the end of it, after I presented and talked about Dan Kersher, she actually said to me, not all things appear as they seem. I said, no, ma'am. No, they don't. Oh, I was upset with her for even considering signing a document as such. You guys saw it. You guys read the content with me. Nothing of history. Nothing. But the two true facts were, I only met the respondent one time, and I am in fear of him potentially coming to another school board meeting. That is called, again, abuse of power. A warrant, by the way, was issued for my arrest. Everyone knows about it. It's on the front page of the Cameron Citizens Observer. And the sad part about it is, a friend of mine just recently sent me a piece, talks about 3 other people who are guilty of the criminal acts that they are in headlines with, and yet there's not one mugshot. The only mugshot of a warrant that was issued was of my face at a school board meeting, and it wasn't even a mugshot. Seriously, folks, that's called being targeted. That's called abusing your power as an editor of a newspaper. Jimmy the Potts, I call him that all the time. He's a putz, but I say it endearingly. I hate the fact that he threw me under the radar like that. I think it was wrong. That will be dealt with again if given an opportunity later. But I'm going to tell you, folks, if you don't stand up for what you believe in, if you don't at least do that if nowhere else, do it in your flipping households. Be that father that's a protector and a provider. Be that mama that sets the laws that the father has to, quote unquote, enforce. Because if mama ain't happy, nobody happy. And you've got to take back your children's education. I found out up in the Trenton schools, it's true, in the Trenton school, talking to that father and mother at the table. I believe they're boyfriend and girlfriend. They're thinking about, I believe, marriage. The mother tells me, or the father tells me, I'm sorry, at the Trenton High School, they give these kids laptops. Now, folks, I'm not going to bring up names. I'm not going to tell you who they are. They're not wealthy people. They don't have the internet. And they don't have $25 to pay for the laptop. You know what the Trenton school says about the parent that doesn't have $25 to pay for that laptop? The Trenton school says the children are not allowed to participate in any activities, and they're not allowed to, quote unquote, be involved in any of the events of the school. Because these people are poor, they cannot afford that laptop, that little tablet or whatever. They're being penalized. But not only are they being penalized, worse yet, it's the children that are being penalized. They'll have the $25, I assure you. I like to give and help. And if it's just one family, I'm okay with it. I can tell them you don't have the internet, go to McDonald's. They've got free Wi-Fi. Be there with your kids, watch what they're saying. But they instead are thinking about pulling their kids from the school to do a free in-home homeschooling. That is a good thing. That would be a very good thing. And last but not least, talking about the warrant for my arrest. I don't know how my warrant got into the hands of William L. Lowenstein, tax attorney. Get this. He's a tax attorney. Now that is killing me. And in doing so, someone from the courthouse gave it to him, believe it or not, so he could literally plaster it. This might be over here. I think it is. No, it's not. So he could literally plaster this on the internet. Get this. On the internet, he plasters the warrant. And the warrant has, believe it or not, my name, my address, my phone number, my date of birth, social security number, as well as my social security number and my driver's license number. It was swiftly taken down within about an hour. And I get a letter from the Office of Disciplinary Counsel, the Missouri Bar, asking them if they would please pull and revoke his license. He should have known better than to do that. And believe it or not, these turnips, Cecilia E. Young, said there's not enough here to initiate an investigation. Identity theft fraud on the internet for 1 hour, my personal information, is not enough to warrant an investigation. Nothing. So I called them up in Jeff City, and I said specifically, this message is for Cecilia E. Young, Staff Counsel. Ma'am, I'd like to have your address, your phone number, your date of birth. I'd like to have your social security number and your driver's license. I want to put it up on the internet. I still haven't heard back from them. So now my next measure, and at the end she tags it with, you may wish to go to an attorney and consult them for any further questions. I don't wish. No, I expect you to do your job. This would be a bottom feeder protecting another bottom feeder. There are some great lawyers out there. I call them sharks. If they're an F. Lee Bailey or Mike, I think it's Mike Spencer something. I can't remember. If you're one of those great sharks, I'm okay. But you bottom feeders, you need to be out of the swamp, out of the pool. You need to be fried and roasted. So my only next alternative, folks, believe it or not, is to go to the satellite office of the Attorney General of the state, present that letter, present the Facebook quote unquote post of William L. Lowenstein, tax attorney Cameron, who put my complete identity on the internet for over an hour. And by the way, it did come up a couple other times. There were idiots out there that reposted it. But thank God again, Travis Eldridge, one of the administrators of the Cameron Community Forum, took it down. Had it not been for him and Heath showing me and giving me pictures of those posts. Oh, let me give you one other idea. That happened back in May. He knew about the warrant for my arrest before I knew about it. Something's fishy in Denmark. I got to tell you, folks, we're living in a corrupt country. I'm not whining. You don't hear me whine. I'm giving you facts. I'm giving you truths. I don't and didn't approach anyone at that meeting. They approached me. This man here tried to abuse the sovereignty of the courts, where people need an ex parte against a nutcase, be it a man or be it a woman. And by the way, I don't have any other genders. Sorry, you emotionally deranged nutcases. I only go with men and women. That's it. They do have a need. Families sometimes do have a need for protection of by the law enforcement agents. But you folks can rest assured, these idiots, they have nothing to fear. Not from me anyway. But I'll tell you what, keep pushing and poking this bear. And I assure you as I'm sitting here, I'm going to take you down. But I'm going to do it legally. I'm going to take you down the way it should be done. Because, folks, we have a constitution here in the United States. We cannot allow ourselves to be completely violated. And that is what's happening. So, again, reclaimingamerica.org. Look it up. Red State Radio, Talk Radio, G.R. Mobley. Look it up. Paul Venable, chairman of the Constitution Party in Missouri. Look his name up. Look up, I'm going to have a pleasure on the 29th of Tom Marks with WSGF. That would be Springfield abbreviation. He's going to be coming on the program on the 29th. He's a constitutionalist. You know, folks, we have to get the information out. We have to show these people we're done putting up with their lies and their thievery. So, Lake Viking Association, I'll see you this coming Sunday. I'll be wearing my shirt properly. Oh, and by the way, if you really want to impress, you ought to try something like this. That twisting sometimes hurts bad. But anyway, here you go. This is one of my new shirts for the school board meeting. I don't know if you can see it all. I hope you can. But you know what? They really hate this part of it. Yes, folks, we need to get these people out of office and elect better, moral-driven, educated, intelligent people who want to push the arithmetic, reading, writing, history, sciences, world cultures, all that. Not this CRT, gender identity crap, and social emotional learning. That is for the parents to decide as to whether they want their kids to be a Twinkie or a cat who pees in a litter box. It's going crazy, folks. It's going absolutely crazy. But you know what? I'm okay to jump in that pool because I'm just as crazy as they are. And you know what? More than anything, I'm crazy that I have the opportunity to be on here to let you guys know what's going on, to give you guys a step ahead, to give you guys information that you may need to use or maybe pass on to another. If you don't get involved now, we're going to lose this country in the long run if we don't get involved today. I thank the Logbook with Dakota and Kimberly Moyers. I had a little baby B. I thank Truck It. with Chad Candy. I love Chad. With Mama Sally, you got to check out their programs. Again, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. I think I want to do Vincent's Voices when I do interviews with people. I really don't want to do a show that's 2 hours all of me because, hell, I can't even put up with me half the day. So, again, I thank all of you for being here because you guys are what really make it worth it for me personally, be it Vincent's Voices or your constitutional truths and consequences. Because all I want to do, all I really truly want to do in the last few years of my life is to do the right thing and to give good wisdom and advice. I'm going to close with this. I would like you to put a challenge out to you all personally, one-on-one, just with you, with yourself. If you are a person of faith, I'd like you to really reflect on the Bible and maybe think of what 3 books of the Bible are important to you. I can put it on the line here, and I intend to. My first one is Proverbs. Obviously, you guys know I like to open up with a quote. But Proverbs is a book of wisdom to guide you, to teach you, to make you hopefully better people. My second book is Psalms. It's prayers for the world, prayers for your friends and family and loved ones around you, and prayers for yourself. And lastly, Ecclesiastics. It's all about time. All about time. Our time here is limited. We don't know. We may have a plan, but I'll tell you what. I plan to go with the chiropractor tomorrow and get an adjustment. I need it bad. I might die tonight in a car wreck just going down to the 7-Eleven. God will let you know what the plan is. And right now, I feel my plan in life, my purpose in life, is to love my son with all my heart, to bring my friends together, to make them stronger and encourage them, and let them know what they're doing is the right thing. Because no battle doesn't have, quote unquote, casualties. Right now, I might be a casualty. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm hoping I don't end up in prison for 4 years and $10,000 fine, losing my house, 3 cats, 2-legged cat, 3-legged cat, 4-legged cat, my cars. What, are you kidding me? No, I don't want that. But some of us will put ourselves out there. And I'm going to give you a man's name that I find very great, and I love him. That's, again, number 45, Donald J. Trump. He has been true blue to this country. He has called the balls and strikes like no other empire ever has. He has done more for this country in the few years he was in, the 4 years he was in. He did more for this country than any president could have done, believe it or not, in 8 years. If you look at my podcast from 2.5 years ago back, you would understand and know I am definitely speaking the truth. I don't know. If Joe Biden steps aside, we know we don't want Harris. But if Joe Biden steps aside, I really think Fetterman would be a good president for the Democratic Party because it's a circus freak show over there. And we keep electing some of these circus freaks. I don't know how it happens, folks, but all I do know is here in my community, this is where it starts. And it starts in each and every one of your communities. Those that are watching from other states or get a hold of this program later, you have to do this in your own community. Get involved, get engaged, and don't be afraid of these people that are demigods that set themselves up on titles and tell you when you can talk and what you can say and when you... No. You can speak. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to end the year really. I'm hoping to end the year because I'm not a resident of Cameron. I have to do my little, I'm a temporary resident. Here's $1 for a 4-day lease of a house, my friend's home. so I can speak because I want to speak. I'm a tax-paying citizen of this state. Are you kidding me? We cannot talk. I cannot talk to the Cameron School Board or the Kansas City or where. No, I can talk to all the other ones, but they're suppressing the freedom of speech of, for instance, me, yours truly. With that being said, God bless you all. Have a great night. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for sticking around and watching. It's meant a lot to me. And I want to put a special shout out once again to a person that just joined our group, Don Corleone, the Godfather. A young man to be the Godfather, but I understand why he wants to be. And I'll tell you what, thank you very much for everything you've done with me in this program. And folks, if nothing else, have people watch it for the first 5 minutes. There's more of a history lesson there than your children are getting in school for 1 full year. That you can take to the bank. Good night, folks. And thank you again for joining. Here we go. I can't find my outro. Here we are. I was already there. Later. And I did want to say one last thing. I did want to say one last thing, if possible, please. That is, I'm sorry I did not put any of the comments up. I was so wrapped up and absorbed with what I was doing. I didn't have the fluctuation at the moment to do that. And I apologize. But I appreciate all the comments, especially Heath. Thank you for your support as well. God bless again, each and every one of you. I'm out of here. Gotta have a water.